All right, big news this morning, big travel news. The TSA announcing that air traffic surpassed pre-pandemic levels yesterday with more than 2.1 million people screened at airports.
Well, that was fast. The increased travel has led to a list of issues, including long lines of security, increased traffic on the roadways, and then there's gas prices. So here with insight on what is going on and our go-to travel expert, that being Gabe Saglie from Travelzoo.com. Good morning, Gabe. Good to see you.
Hey, guys. Great to be with you on this holiday Friday.
Yes.
I know, and it's the No Shave Friday as well. Good to see that going on there. A little different. Looking good, though. So now that the country has opened back up, people are on the move. So let's talk about what is anticipated for the 4th of July holiday travel.
Well, I'm going to start by being sort of that eternal optimist. And what we're seeing now, I'm calling them growing pains. We are seeing concerns around delays, possible cancellations. There's just a lot of folks moving through the airports, on the roadways today. I'm going to say that's a good thing overall. You know, the industry, travel industry hit very hard, obviously, during the pandemic. And we're starting to see a very, very quick ramp up in that comfort level around travel, that desire to get out and go on this 4th of July weekend. Yeah. Paints a picture here of what we probably will see throughout the summer season. I got to tell you guys, if the numbers hold, what the AAA is expecting, 47, 48 million of us hitting the roads this 4th of July weekend, that's going to be 50% larger as far as the travel volume than what we saw last year, and we are well within 5 or 6% of numbers we would have seen in 2019. And I just got these in. So TSA just put out the number of travelers going through TSA checkpoints yesterday, July 1st, 2.15 million people. That beats 2019's number. So this is the first time in the entirety of the pandemic where we're seeing now 2021 numbers actually beating 2019 pre-pandemic numbers. So clearly, there is a push to get out there and go. But yeah, that's testing the industry in many ways, as we know, both on the roadways and at the airports.
Yeah, let me ask you, especially at the airports, right? Because I had a friend who flew out yesterday or 2 days ago, said it took her an hour just to get through the TSA line. Now, we have heard that there was this staffing shortage, right? That they were unable to rehire all the people that they had to lay off during the pandemic. Where are we at with that? What are you hearing?
Yeah, and it's more than just sort of a staffing shortage, or sort of not anticipating that we needed a lot of these experts back on their jobs, whether it's at airports, whether it's the pilots. But the fact of the matter is that the ramp up in travel demand has been just quicker than I think a lot of people anticipated. We started off the year with the anticipation that people were going to be getting comfortable with traveling. The vaccine started to roll out, and that ramp up really sort of, I think, took the industry by surprise. It's not just about rehiring a lot of these folks. It's about training them on a lot of these new protocols as well, from beginning to end. Now, with the pilot situation, for example, there was a pilot shortage issue well before the pandemic. And I think what happened last year, we saw some forced early retirements. We saw a lot of furloughs, and people now, as we begin to rehire a lot of these folks and retrain them, it's a bit of a delicate dance in the way we sort of bring them back in the kind of volume and with the kind of speed to keep things still flowing efficiently and safely. That's going to match that demand out there. So that's still a factor, and I think that you're totally right. This idea that you've got to get to the airport earlier than you would have otherwise is definitely going to hold true this weekend and throughout much of the summer season as well.
Right.
So as you talk about these shortages, I want to talk about rental cars, right? Are they building their fleets back up? Because I had family who went to Hawaii, and they were being charged $600 a day for a rental car.
Yeah, folks in Hawaii are renting U-Haul trucks to be able to get around the islands. And I think the sort of the car sharing phenomenon is quickly becoming something to consider. There are companies like Turo. There's a company called Get Around. These are companies where folks are providing their private cars to other folks out there. Usually the rates are quite competitive, but even that industry is starting to see some.
Where'd the fleets go?
Yeah, here's the bottom line. The rental car industry sold off a lot of those cars last year. I was in Hawaii a couple of months ago. The reality on the ground, a lot of those cars just went to the mainland.
What did you say? I'm sorry, Gabe.
Slowly waiting for those cars to come back.
Did you say
it's just a physical reality that cars are not being manufactured quickly enough to meet demand or being brought back onto these fleets? That's a reality this weekend. I think we'll see those pains throughout much of the summer season. So you want to be very thorough. Even if you've got a car reserved, you want to check day before, day of to make sure that those cars are there. Also, renting from airports, a bit of a safer bet. I've been at sort of these off-airport locations where even with a reservation, physically the cars are just not there.
Oh no!
Wait, did you say they sold them off?
Yeah.
So they sold the cars off.
Yeah, they sold them off as a way
and they couldn't get their fleet back. Right. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So I got to get to this Travelzoo study that you guys did, this 2021 survey. What did you find out in that? What did it uncover?
So the enthusiasm is up, especially when we compare it to just spring break. Comfort levels around traveling are way up. 85% of folks we surveyed, 84% planning at least one summer vacation, 58% of them planning 2 or more summer vacations. When we did this same survey for spring break, about 15-20% were comfortable with flying to their spring break destination. That number now at 60% plus for summer. And that road trip phenomenon still very strong. 92% folks planning a summer road trip, although the distance we're willing to travel compared to last year. Last year we were looking at folks driving 7, 10, 12 hours. Now it's more of a 3 to 5 hour road trip because that comfort level around flying is filling in that demand for those
bring in the gang
regional
here, Gabe.
and cross-country destinations. Of course, international travel in some sectors starting to go up as well. So the news is good. It's just going to create some of these headaches that some of us are dealing with in holidays like the 4th of July.
I hear you. All right, the gang's all here. We have questions, and I think one of
Gabe,
them is
yes. Gabe, I have a question. Hi, you look fantastic.
Hello.
I still think your hair looks black, not gray. But
thank you.
So I'm traveling to California with my family. 2 things. The mask mandate is now back indoors. You may or may not be able to address that. The second thing is, I just discovered my hotel is renovating, and they sent me this long, detailed email about what room I can or cannot get.
Oh, no.
Everything is subject to negotiation.
Drop your name.
What should I go? I'm going to drop Gabe's name. What should I be able to negotiate with them?
So great question. Now here, this is another sort of reality check. These hotels, there's a staffing issue there as well. There are also some protocols that are sort of getting in the way of some of the creature comforts, some of the frills that we would have been used to pre-pandemic when we go to fancy hotels. I'm assuming you would be staying in a very fancy hotel, Marisol.
Oh yeah, you know where I work. It's
I've been
not a
staying at
fancy
hotels,
hotel.
For the last several weeks, and the reality is that things like resort fees have not gone away, but maybe your daily housekeeping services have gone away. There's some restrictions around how many people can go into that beautiful hot tub out there or into the gym. I was at a hotel with my son earlier this week here in Southern California where there was only one individual or one family at a time at a hot tub. So you're seeing some restrictions as a lot of these destinations can continue to sort of push through and deal with varying restrictions. I'm in LA County now where the suggestion in the last couple of days now is that even if you're vaccinated, you're supposed to wear a mask indoors. Yeah. A lot of those who aren't vaccinated, are having to contend with whether we take these recommendations or not. And keep in mind, Marisol, that a lot of these protocols are just different from state to state and from country to country. So we're navigating still a sort of a changing landscape out there. Yeah. I think with hotels, especially when it comes to these resort fees, I wouldn't be afraid to sort of question them, especially if these resort fees list all of the amenities that they're supposed to offer you, and they're simply not available or not available to the extent that would allow you to enjoy that stay. I think and we're seeing that happen, and on occasion they will retroactively pull those fees off, but you want to be cognizant of what these fees cover, and if you feel you're not getting the bang for your buck, talk to the personnel there at the hotel.
All right, Gabe.
What's your cell number, Gabe?
So when I go to the concierge, I'm just going to have you on speed dial and then put you on speaker and let you do all the talking.
Feel free.
Good information.
Gabe, great information. Good to see you.